Here is Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, priced in US dollars, 97,900. It does not look like it is going to close the day above 100,000 or above 101,000, which is what we really needed. Okay, I'd be cautioning you here, and many people have been cautioning you just recently about Bitcoin. This is the index, and this is the Bitstamp price. Okay, let's take a look. May I get rid of all those? Oh, I don't really get rid of that one, whatever that brush tool was. Yeah, no, I'll get rid of that brush tool. Here is some trend lines that you need to have a look at very clearly. That's the final hurdle. That's the must close above there. Yeah, we've done that. Close weekly below there, and down she goes. Yes, and any other trend lines is the big one. Nope, that's not it. Give me a moment. Trend line. Trend line. There we go. That's it right there. Okay, so let's take a look at it on the daily time frame. We closed above yesterday. We closed above. Now, this is why I keep telling you, don't look at daily closes for something like Bitcoin that has been around for a long time. If you're looking at something in a market that's just been around for a couple of months, yeah, you can look at daily closes, okay, because the historical chart isn't that large. But with a historical chart that now goes back to 2009, okay, you don't consider daily closes to be confirmations, okay? It's at least got to be weeklies and preferably monthlies, okay? This is case in point right here. And we did talk about it. It was good to see it closed the day yesterday above that $101 value. Now, I've got it here at 100K, so I'm actually going to move that to 101 because that matches up with my Fibonacci level. Give me 1 second. And I'll show you what the hell I'm talking about. Fib retracements. There you go. Is that it? That's that 101. There you go, right there. That's it right there. And this is from the recent high and the recent low. Well, the recent old high and the recent low. I don't consider the new all-time high here to really be something. I mean, technically we got to 100. Technically it was a higher high, but really we're taking it from this high and this low. Okay, you've got the $101,000 mark. Okay, that's at the 0.618. Okay, very key level. It has failed to hold numerous days. It did it up here, great, but it has failed to hold on the weekly time frame. Let me show you the weekly. Okay, 101,000. Now you could comfortably call that the psychological value of 100,000, but just technically on this Fibonacci, it's at 101. Now we did do it once. Okay, we did it back here. We closed it. Okay, but we failed to spike above and close above. Sorry, we spiked above. We failed to close above the final hurdle of $104,200. Okay, failure, failure, failure. Now we closed below. We had that big move, liquidated a lot of longs down here. We went all the way back down to 91,000, and we've had a spike up to 102,000, but we are very likely not. And look, the weeks, we've got a number of days. So yes, we can creep back up, but you are definitely not going to see a close above $101,000 today. We're not going to do that in the next 42 minutes, okay, until the start of the new day trades. We're also going to be below probably this Fibonacci level, quite possibly, of 98,000. That's setting up for potential lower moves, okay? On the weekly time frame, you really do want to close in the green, preferably. If you start closing red, and I will say, if you start closing the week below 96,400, roughly $96,500, that's that Fibonacci there, that's the 0.382. If you start closing the week below there, probably in another test, okay, of this uptrend line. This is the one that goes all the way back to the previous all-time highs in March and of 2021. Okay, that's that trend line. I know it's looking a little bit busy, sorry, particularly if you're watching this on a small screen. But yeah, we are not out of the woods. As I've been saying, we're not out of the woods yet for Bitcoin. Okay, it needs to close and hold a week above $104,000 roughly. Okay, it's got to close above here, and it has failed to do that so far. So still in no man's land. Many people are saying, no, man, this is distribution. This is just the up and down and the up and down. This is kind of like the Bart pattern, the Bart Simpson pattern that people talk about before a larger move down. You have to be really weary and really keeping it in the forefront of your mind that Bitcoin might be done here. Okay, not saying it is, not saying we're going to shoot for the moon from here, not saying we're tanking from here, but you just have to have that in the back of your mind. Why? Well, because of this pattern that we're just talking about also, and also there's no confirmation above that sort of $104,000 area for me, and also on the relative strength index. Don't forget, we already went into extremely overvalued on the weekly time frame, and we have been moving down. Also note some bearish divergence as well. Let me get rid of this here, and I'll get rid of all this flotsam and jetsam, and then you can see that a little more clearly. Cool, great. So this is on the weekly time frame, and this is where we had the spike to here. Okay, it wasn't even here, it was here. Okay, so yeah, okay, so we had that spike to there. So on the weekly time frame, that weekly close, that weekly spike to that weekly spike is a very much an upward direction. Okay, and very clearly you can see it was a bearish divergence because we did see the price going lower. But from that same area, that's from like there to there. Okay, so that's very much moving down, and a very steep angle too. Steep angle moving up in the fiat dollar price, steep angle moving down on the relative strength index. Bearish divergence. Okay, start of bearish divergence, and this could be the distribution phase where people are just taking their profits along. Oh, a bit of a dip. Oh, it gets here. Now this could be a sign for it. Okay, we have a higher high, but it's a spike, and it's quite a lower higher high. Okay, you can see that arc potentially forming right here. Okay, that kind of arc thing where we do something like that, maybe even come back up here to test it, and then it hits the side of the arc on this side, the dome or the arc, and then I'm not saying that's happening 100%. You just have to be aware of it. Okay, so we could see lower prices in Bitcoin, which would also take altcoins right down. Okay, so here's the monthly time frame. Now, having said all this, okay, hey, we're above this trend line. That's good. We closed the last month above the trend line. Great, we had a spike below. So here's the positives. We had a spike below and then a close above it. That's great. We just had a spike below, and we're only in the first 5 days of February. We really got to close over that kind of market. At least we've got to start getting into green. But look, that can happen. Okay, look, we haven't closed the month below, but obviously if we close in the red and we close anywhere down here, February down here, so we don't even have any kind of green month, and it just closes around here, and I would say probably watching out for, there you go, there's that 96.4. There's that Fibonacci we talked about, okay? That's right here. There you go, right there, 96.4. So if I pop that on right now and I pop on that Fibonacci, it matches, lines up exactly on the monthly open and close. Okay, so if you start closing below 96, it's the same thing. Close of the month below there, not a great sign. That's probably signals lower prices coming. Cool. Just bear all of that in mind. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. And the bearish divergence. If I look at this on the monthly, do I notice anything? Well, we haven't closed the month, so no. Just be aware. Cool. That is Bitcoin. Let's take a look at others. Others is the altcoin market minus the top 10. We are still trending down on the relative strength index. What do we notice? Any bearish divergence happening here? Excuse me. As I've said previously, I am fully parked, almost fully parked. A bit of dust here and there because I've been in crypto since 2013. So I've got a smattering of crap since, altcoins really start going in sort of like 2015, okay? But I have a smattering of things, but I'm mainly all in USD at the moment, and I'm waiting for some confirmations, okay? What do we notice here, though? Here, and this is where, very smartly, someone like ASX Trader, who I am, championing a lot because they're really good at what they do, noticed that on the monthly time frame, hey, you had a high here, and then you had a higher high, but on the relative strength index, it had a lower low. And that is where ASX Trader decided to get out of the altcoin market completely. And I can in hindsight, I can see absolutely why that happened, okay? That is bearish divergence, moving higher. That is closing lower. And we are currently trending down on the relative strength index. We do have this little support level. Again, look, crypto can redeem itself and can come back from here. So we're not out of the woods. We're not. We haven't confirmed 100% lower or 100% higher yet. If I look at that on the relative strength index, and that kind of matches up roughly with, if you want to call it that, you could call it that if you want. Okay, so we're in a trading range in this sort of triangle-ish kind of area right there. On the relative strength index, though, if you start closing months below here, that would kind of coincide with below here, and then down she goes for crypto. So be very aware. Personally, I am out of the market. I've got all my dollars in fiat dollar value. Again, a smattering of crypto, which I think I've got like 400, maybe something, $500 in stuff that I could reasonably sell in just in a chunk, rather than doing like selling like 50 different things from since 2015 and getting like $10 here, $5 here. I'm not going to do that because the gas fees would be too high. But I've got one that I'm still in, which is like worth about $400 now. I'm thinking about taking that out too. Okay. And just waiting to see what happens. Waiting to see if we confirm either way. If we confirm that we're going down below here, crossing below that 230 and closing, not spiking down, but closing below 230 billion. Who knows where that low is? Okay, I don't know, but that spells pretty bad stuff for the altcoin market. And for me, probably, and I think many others agree, I've been talking about the $330 billion area. I want to see it close above this downtrend line. First off, got to get above the downtrend line, close above 330 billion. I'll start scaling in maybe. The ultimate confirmation is somewhere between that $370 to $400 billion level. You start closing above in that area. I was like, oh, okay, this is, onwards and upwards, and great. Good news, right? Fantastic. Let's do this. I don't want to see this. I want to put my USD holdings back into crypto to ride the altcoin season 2025. That's what I want. So I want to see this. I struggled with my patience yesterday. As you know, I was getting quite impatient because it sucks. Being patient is very, very hard. But sleeping on it and all that, you've just got to wait. Okay? Waiting for that confirmation. This would be great. Do that. Mwah, chef's kiss, onwards and upwards we go. Then we'll talk higher prices, and then you've confirmed that it is a continuing bull market for altcoins. That is not the case at the moment. I am almost fully out at this stage. Cool. That is the altcoin market. Don't think I'll do anything else. I won't do a Toshi one. I will do a separate Toshi video for my Toshi fan people. Okay, but I've done BTC. Let's take a look at XRP. Look, again, it's like the altcoin market. XRP is not doing, it's above its normal, where are we? It's above, it's back below, sorry. So now we're back below the final hurdle for new all-time highs at $2.60. So we're back below the final hurdle, okay? If I think we're indeterminate for general crypto, then I have to say it's indeterminate yet for XRP and every single other altcoin at the moment. Bear in mind, we have gone into extremely overvalued already on the monthly time frame on XRP, trending down at the moment. Hey, we could bounce here and then head onwards and upwards. Okay, everything's looking a little iffy at the moment. Now, there might be select crypto that for some reason bulk the trend, and just doing great guns in the moment. Okay, cool. Good luck to you if you're in them. The general crypto market, indecision at the moment. General Bitcoin at the moment, there is indecision. Okay, gold and precious metals are definitely favored at the moment. Cool.